So who really is the future? Are we not the future? Are we just caretakers? What are we doing today? We're trying to make our lives. And what we'll make of our lives depends upon the opportunity that we have. The opportunity that we have depends upon the world that has been left to us by our past generations. The future always is the next generation to come, while we are always the present. What this means is, the future means both men and women to come. So we cannot have all our efforts directed towards the cause of one sex at the expense of other. We have to develop a balanced approach. What that means is, rather than looking at problems from the point of view of individuals, we need to start looking at them from the point of view of a family. I'll take the example of work rights to explain this. Now, are we just living to work to make someone else rich while we only get little bit of money and we have no time left for ourselves? What do we really have quality time to spend with our family and kids? Why do we need both sexes to work and work equally hard? And then of course the point comes, are both sexes getting paid equitably? If you think of equal work, equal pay, it's a very simple thing. If you're doing the same job, it doesn't matter what your sex is, you should be getting paid the same money. But does this really serve the purpose from the family's point of view? What does a family need? And I'm not gonna say women should be paid less or men should be paid less. I'm going to explain this using the example of family, how and what is going to benefit both. We need to plan parenthood because we need to make sure that we have the capacity to give the best upbringing to our kids. But what that means is, what every person needs is a stability in life. And stability includes job security. When women work and they have a family, they need time out to both give birth as well as be there for the kids' initial time. I would say women need to be paid equal, but there's a better way of doing this thing as well. It could be that women get paid 60%, provided every 3 years they are allowed to take, for every 3 years work, they are allowed to take 2 years of paid leave. So when they start planning a family, a woman who has worked in a job for 3 years and only taken 60% of her pay, and she is to give birth, she could take away 6 months off before she gives birth to the child, and then another year and a half to get the child old enough so that the child could be managed in other ways. And all this time, while her job should be kept secured, she should get paid as well. So paid leave kind of a way. That will help families more. And the way this thing would work is, you work 3 years, you get entitled for 2 years leave. Then you work another 3 years and get entitled for 2 years leave. After say you have 2 kids, you don't need that leave anymore. You're not going to have another child. Then straight away you go to the full pay, which should be the same pay as a man doing the same job should get. Doesn't this sound better than every other alternative out there? Because it takes care of the family, and it shows both sexes get equal pay. Then think of how much people are working. Do they get enough time to work on their own self? Do you get time? If you are so exhausted by the end of the day that you can't even exercise to stay fit, you are ruining your body, and you are only going to get this one body in your life, and this is the only life you get. Once you're dead, that's the end of your story. Once your body fails you, that's the end of your story. You need time for yourself. What's the point in living if you only live to work to make someone else rich while you cannot enjoy your life? Where is equity in that? Once the thing is, better life includes better lifestyle. Does our work caters to that? And does it really matter whether you're a man or a woman if you're in the same boat? So what this means is that once you start looking at from a collective perspective, you start seeing that every individual, be man or woman, their needs are similar. That way, the efforts you will direct will improve the society for both sexes. And at the same time, you would be creating a better and more conducive society for the family. But that's just an example to explain how, by putting family at the center of our perspective, we can actually work for both the sexes. So, think people, think.